Dear students, welcome to the third play in your textbook titled The Monkey's Paw, written by W. W. Jacobs, who is an English playwright. The Monkey's Paw is a supernatural text, first published in England in the collection called The Lady of the Barge in 1902. In the story, three wishes are granted to the owner of the monkey's paw, but the wishes come with an enormous price for interfering with fate. The characters in the play are Mr. White, Mrs. White, Herbert, Sergeant Major Morris, and Mr. Sampson. The setting of the play: the living room of an old fashioned cottage on the outskirts of a city called Fulham. Set cornerwise in the left angle at the back is a deep window for the front left. Three or four steps lead up to a door. Further forward, you can see a dresser with plates, glasses, etc. Right center at back is an alcove. Alcove is a smaller room separated from a larger one with a street door fully visible. On the inside of the street door, you can find a letterbox, a wire letterbox. On the right is a cupboard, then a fireplace. In the center is a round table. Against the wall, left back is an old-fashioned piano. Comfortable chairs on each side of the fireplace. There are other chairs as well. On the mantelpiece, which is a shelf, you can see a clock, a china figure, a figure made of china, etc. An air of comfort spreads the room, pervades the room. At the rise of the curtain, Mrs. White, a pleasant looking old woman, is seated in the armchair below the fire, attending to a kettle. Kettle is a pot, which is steaming on the fire, and keeping a laughing eye on Mr. White, her husband, and Mr. Herbert, her son. These two, Mr. White and Herbert, are seated at the right angle of the table nearest the fire with a chess board between them. So when the play begins, you see the father and the son engage in a game of chess. Mr. White, the father, is evidently losing. He seems to be losing the game. His hair is ruffled and combed. His spectacles are high up on his forehead. Herbert is a fine young fellow. He is looking with satisfaction at the move he has just made because he is pretty sure that he is going to be the father again in the game. Mr. White makes several attempts to move but thinks better of them. He makes several attempts to move but then he thinks better of them. He takes enough time before he makes a move. There is a shaded lamp on the table. The door is tightly shut. The curtains of the window are drawn, but every now and then the wind is heard whistling outside. Scene 1. Mr. White, moving at last and triumphant. Mr. White has taken enough time. He has taken a lot of time before he makes a move. Finally, he makes a move and shouts loudly, feeling triumphant, victorious. Herbert, there, my boy, I got you, I think. Father seems to be very, very happy because finally he's going to beat his son in the game. Then Herbert says that, "Oh, father, you're a deep one, dad, aren't you?" Deep one here, difficult to understand, grave one. Herbert says, "Oh, you're a deep one, dad, aren't you? Oh, you are very grave. I find it difficult to understand you." Mrs. White, hearing what Herbert says, Mrs. White is asking the son whether the father has beaten him at last. Herbert says, "Oh, no, no, Lord, oh God, no, he has not beaten me. He has actually overlooked a move that I have made. he has overlooked, ignored, or he has not studied the game properly. He has made a move without seeing the move that I had made. Mr. White is excited. Then he says, "Oh no, sorry." Now Mr. White realizes that he had made a wrong move and he's going to be trapped soon by the sun. And he says, "Let me take that back. Let me withdraw. Let me take back my pawn. I have made a wrong move. Now I realize I'll take it back." But Herbert doesn't allow the father to do it by saying that no, rules of the game. In a game of chess, once you make a move, you can't withdraw that, you have to stick on to that. Mr. White, feeling disgusted, he tells his son, "I don't hold with them scientific rules. Come on, we are just playing a game. These are not scientific rules which can never be broken." Mr. White is telling his son, "Why do you take it very seriously? You turn what ought to be an innocent relaxation. I am playing a game with you just to while away the time. This is just an innocent relaxation and you are making it very serious." Mrs. White tells her husband, "Don't talk too much." Mrs. White tells her husband, "Don't talk so much, father. If you do that, your son will be put off and he will lose his mood." Herbert laughed. "Oh no, my father can't do that." Mr. White trying to distract his attention. Now Mr. White wants to distract the attention of the son and then defeat him easily, cleverly. "Listen to the wind, my son." He's asking him to listen to the wind. Herbert dryly, he doesn't show any enthusiasm, any interest in listening to what the father is saying. Herbert says, "I'm listening, but I won't be distracted. I won't take my eyes off the chessboard." In fact, he checkmates the father. He says, "Check." Mr. White, still trying to distract him, "I should hardly think Sergeant Morris would come tonight." Once again, the father tries to distract the attention of the son by saying that, "Today I wonder whether Sergeant Major Morris will come tonight. I don't know. He told us that he would be visiting us. Now I wonder whether he's really going to come." Herbert doesn't get distracted. He continues to concentrate on the game and tells the father, "Mate, checkmate, I have trapped you." Then he gets up and goes up left because he knows that father is defeated. Mr. White, with an outbreak of disgust and sweeping the chessmen off the board. So father gets really angry. He feels disgusted, and in disgust he sweeps the chessmen pawns off the board. So he just sweeps them off, and he says, "That's the worst of living so far out. Your friends can't come for a quiet chat and you addle your brains over a compounded dash." Mr. White is very angry. He criticizes his son for being very serious, and he says, "That's the worst of living so far out. Your friends can't come here for a quiet chat because you addle your brain, you confuse your brain. You get confused, you confuse everybody, and you addle your brains over a compounded, dirty, godforsaken." Now Herbert says, "Now father, Mr. Morris will turn up. All right." "Oh no, just forget about my friends. I'm very sure your friend will come tonight, Mr. Morris." Mr. White, still in a temper, still he's angry with his son. He says, "Lovers Lane, Fulham Ho, of all the beastly, slushy, out of the way places to live in." Then he curses himself for having chosen to live in a dirty place called Lovers Lane in Fulham. Lovers Lane, that's the name of the lane in Fulham. Oh, of all the beastly, dirty, slushy, muddy, out of the way places to live in, I don't know how we came to live in this dirty, beastly, slushy place. Pathway is a bog and the road is a torrent. See, you can't walk into this house easily because the pathway is a bog It is a marshy place. It is full of torrent. Torrent is water flat. It gets flooded. To Miss White, who has risen, is a table. What's the county council thinking of? That's what I want to know, because this is the only house in the road. It doesn't matter if nobody can get near it, I suppose.